Hello, America. Nick and Jay here, once again from YouAreLiberal.com. It's Common Sense Conservatism from Two Uncommon Men. I'm your self-appointed Czar of Liberty, Jay.
And I'm Nick, your Czar of Freedom.
And we're back again for a double dose this week. We decided to do two, just because there were so many things out there to talk about. We went a little long last time. We had a couple more stories that we really wanted to hit, and, well, let's face it, we just can't stay away for very long. We get lonely without you guys.
We like to talk.
Yeah. One of the things we wanted to hit on was, of course, revisionist history. Revisionist history has been a problem from liberals as long as I can remember. I guess since the beginning of the 1900s, probably. Woodrow Wilson. He was a great revisionist. Now, one of the things that it's carried on throughout history, and now President Obama is doing it in his own speeches.
So President Obama, he's speaking to the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. This was the 15th, is last Wednesday. He's going on, and he's at the end of his speech. Then he goes into quoting the Declaration of Independence. And he's reading from a teleprompter, right? So we're not going to misspeak.
Yeah,
he does this all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's anything new.
So yeah, so he's reciting the Declaration of Independence, and he gets to the part where where our rights come from. Where it talks about the Creator. That's where all our rights come from, not the government, but from the Creator. And he hesitates right before this, and you can tell he's reading the prompters, blinking a little bit, thinking, hesitating, and then he goes on. He just actually skips over that part.
The way it's actually supposed to read, because I think we need to go into this and say exactly what he was supposed to have said, or what should have been said to quote the Declaration. And it's actually what it reads as is, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And he left out one little part there. What he said was, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And then there was the long pause. It was like he was looking at it, about the part about the Creator. He was looking at the teleprompter going, I'm scared of religion, I can't go there. And that's basically, to me, that's what it seems like. And which, it's not, to me, a religious statement as much as it is just a historical statement. That's what it says. But I think that the president is actually so scared of religion that he wasn't even going to say it. I don't think he was going to go there. So there was this long pause, and then he goes in with, endowed with certain inalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Totally skips the Creator, leaves that out entirely.
So I don't know. I'm debating back and forth in my head with this. I don't know if it's scared of religion so much as, if you admit that our rights come from the Creator, not from government, then you open yourself up for attack with all these other rights that the left wing want to, spend all our money, take our money, and then spend it on all these programs that are good, but it's not really serving its purpose.
I wouldn't say all of them are good. Some of them are good, but it's not the role of the government. And you're right, I agree 100% there. If you admit that our actual rights come from a higher power than the government, then that basically limits what they can and cannot do. Because let's face it, they really didn't have the rights to give the bailouts to the auto companies or to the banks. That's not a right. I mean, nobody, and the jobs spending bill, jobs are not rights. I'm sorry, but the left, they have a different definition of what are rights. And the actual definition, a right, you can't grant a right to somebody. The government cannot grant a right. When you have to take something away from somebody else to give it to that person, that's not a right. Money is not a right. Food is not a right. Their life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That pretty much sums it up.
When God created us, was He really concerned? I hope these guys have health insurance.
Yeah, I'm sure that's one of the many rights that the Creator endowed for health insurance.
He's wanting us to follow the golden rule, take care of our fellow man, love him, and make sure also we have health insurance.
And car companies have enough money to stay in business. We got to have GM. We got to have Dodge. Can't do without Chrysler. Got to have the Mopar power out there. God was a big Mopar fan, from what I hear.
I think, and thinking about this, and the left-wing person listening is going to say, well, you said, take care of your fellow man. But that's a choice of each individual, not forced upon by a government or a church.
Exactly, and that's another thing there that that's something we should take upon ourselves. That's something that you should do yourself to make to feel good, to help out your fellow man. That's just something that every person should do, is to help their fellow man. Many people choose not to, and I understand that. And I know we can't rely entirely on charity. The world wouldn't work. There has to be other assistance, but where's the line? Where do you draw the line before you're just giving everybody everything they want for free? I've read the Bible. I don't remember ever when God came down and said, and I grant untoeth my followers free broadband access.
You're reading the King James there, aren't you?
Yeah, that's the King Cletus version of the Bible, I think. Or maybe the King Elmo version, because now the White House, the internet czar, they've got a czar for everything, I'm telling you. The internet czar has come out and declared that broadband internet access is a civil right. Broadband is. I didn't know that. See, I pay for mine. I didn't realize this is something that we should be provided for free. And then they enlisted the help of one of my favorite characters, too. This kind of ticked me off a little bit. Elmo, man. They got Elmo out there pushing free broadband as a civil right. Let's go ahead and listen to this.
The internet can be fun and informative and educational.
Yeah, but Elmo has one problem. And maybe Joe and Julius can help.
What is it, Elmo?
Elmo's internet is too slow.
It is?
It's too slow. Yes, Elmo's tired of buffering.
Too much buffering?
Yes, no more buffering. Elmo doesn't want to buffer any longer. Elmo is totally buffered out.
Okay, well, there it is. Elmo is buffered out. So we can't have any more buffering. That's what they're teaching our kids now. We can't have any more buffering. So basically, we've just got to give everybody free broadband. That's the right thing to do.
We shouldn't even take time to research. Is this a valid problem?
This is ridiculous. They have to create the problem and then grant a civil right to take care of it. That's what they have to do. And once again, that's what the left is known for. And they're trying it again. And using Elmo, and they're using children out there to try to badger their parents and into going for these things and falling for these things. That was like they're on Nickelodeon, and they had Dora the Explorer doing census commercials. You know, what little kid needs to be concerned about the census or civil right of having broadband internet access? Let kids be kids. You know, if you want to target somebody, you know, get an adult figure out there. Go ahead and just try to explain this to adults and try to get this passed. Don't badger their children to death.
Basically, it's just another way for the left wing to redistribute wealth. You know, they need to buy votes, so they're going to create a problem and then show that they've solved it, so they can get reelected, just to reinsure that they're going to still be in power. Exactly.
They've done this with many things throughout history, and this is another example of it, prime example here. And the funny part is they had a big meeting. We watched the whole video. We won't play it all because it gets kind of boring in places, but then it picks up in others. There was a guy talking about telephone service and getting telephone service to everybody back in the 80s, and that was a big push. And this guy was talking about, now we got to thinking about different ways to do this. Should we provide this for only the low-income families who don't already have the service and only subsidize them? Or should we just subsidize all low-income families? That way we pick up the ones that don't already have it, and then, the ones that do have it already, if they can't afford it, well, that's just much less money they have to spend.
You know what he didn't mention that's going to come up, though, is you also have to figure out where do illegals play. I mean, they're here. They need broadband internet.
Yeah, the illegal immigrants need broadband internet access, too.
They might not have a computer. We probably should get them a phone.
And you know what? I got to thinking about it. Their families back at home in Mexico, they may not have broadband internet access. They may not be able to afford it. It may not be available in their area. They've got to have a way to email back and forth and keep in touch through Facebook across the border. So
probably need to buy them a computer.
Yeah, we're probably going to have to buy them computers and start getting broadband internet access expanded down into Mexico. And then, of course, it doesn't just stop at Mexico, though, because there are a lot of people coming across our southern border that are from farther south than that, into Central America, El Salvador, places like that. So we're just going to, basically, the entire American continent, the North America, South America, all of it, we're going to have to provide broadband internet for. And then we'll have to start looking at people that immigrate from other countries and trying to fix their homelands up to. Where does it end? Seriously. Where does it finally stop?
You know what I think, though, is really that where we're really going wrong is that we're only taxing the rich. We need the middle class and our lower income to be taxed, too, because we got to give that to the rest of the world.
Exactly.
Because our poorest are richer than most other countries, so why do we stop there? Why don't we just tax everybody in America?
Let's tax everyone to death. That's your advice for yourliberal.com this week.
Yeah, tax everyone and then send it out to all parts of the world. Let's give them everything that they don't have.
You joke, but if the current administration and the radicals behind them get their way, that's what's going to happen. But for now, we got to go, ladies and gentlemen. It's yourliberal.com, Nick and Jay, common sense conservatism from two uncommon men. I'm your self-appointed Czar of Liberty, Jay.
And I'm Nick, your Czar of Freedom.
Good night, America.